Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another nail video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you step by step how I make a set of nails as a beginner nail artist. So I will show you everything that I do to make a set of nails, whether they're for myself or whether they're for a customer. And I have left timestamps in the description for each step of what I'm doing. So jumping right in and getting started, the first thing that I need to do is to put the nails on the stands, and for that I need my nail sizes. If you're making a set of press-on nails for yourself, this is really easy because you just need to hold it against your nail and see if it fits. And as long as that tip fits from sidewall to sidewall and there's not a gap on either side and it's not overhanging the nail, then that one fits you perfectly and you can pop it on the stand. So you can see here the first nail that I tried was a little bit too big, whereas this one fits perfectly from side to side and there's no gaps. So I am popping that on the stand, and then I will repeat the same thing for the rest of my fingers. Something that I think a lot of people miss when they size themselves for press-on nails is that a lot of the times your hands can be different sizes. So your thumb on one hand can be one size and the thumb on the other hand is another size. So always measure both hands when you're doing press-on nails to make sure that they fit properly. This is the same thing if you're making a set for a customer. You want to get them to give you their sizes for both hands too. I like to use a sizing kit to size customers because I think that's the most accurate way to do it, but you can use the tape method too, and I've heard people use the coin method and that works for them too. So to actually stick the nails to the stand, I like to use these little sticky tabs that you can use to stick press-ons on with. They are the best things that I've found to actually get the nails to stick and not come off when you're filing them or applying gel or anything. So moving on to the next step, which is prepping the nails. I'm just showing you everything that you will need to do this, and I will leave all of these linked in the description too. I always start my nail prep by filing off the extra bits of plastic that are always on the nail tips. I don't ever change the shape of my nail tips. You definitely could if you wanted to, and this is where I would do it, but I just file off the extra gel that has been left from like where the tips have been made. And then once I've done that, you'll see me dust off all the excess dust from the nails. And I do this multiple times throughout the prep process because I really want to make sure that there is no dust at all before I go in with the next step when I'm doing base coat. So I do try and be as thorough as I can and get rid of all of the dust when I'm doing this. And then once I've finished filing all of the nails, the next thing that I will do is go in and buff them all. So I'm taking my buffing block and buffing over the surface of the entire nail, and you want to make sure that there's no shininess to the nail at all, and then it all gets really matte and really scratched up. Gel doesn't like to stick to a shiny surface, so this is why we go in and buff the nail to make sure that the gel will stick. This is what stops your gel polish from just peeling off the nail later on. So to me, this is like the most important part of the prep, is making sure that this is done properly. So you'll see me get rid of all the dust and then go back in and just like fill in any gaps and make sure I'm buffing over any shiny parts again, because I want to make sure that I've done this properly. This can take a while and it can be a bit tedious sometimes, but I think it's so important for making your sets last. Especially if you're making sets for a customer and you're selling sets, you want them to last, so you don't want the gel to peel or to chip, and I think this is really important for that. You can get chemical etching products, like I think Apri do one and Nail Order do one that I've just ordered, and they basically do the same thing with a liquid, so it saves you a lot of time. But if you're just starting out with press-on nails or you're on a budget, then this is a really good way to do it too. It just means that you need to make sure that you've got rid of all of the dust before you move on. So I just wanted to show you the difference. This is a nail that has not been prepped, it's not been buffed, and then this is a nail that has, and you can see all of the scratches and scores, and you can see that there's no shine to that nail either, and this is what you want them to look like. So once you've prepped all of your nails, the next stage is to go in with base coat. My favourite base coat at the minute is from Nail Reserve, so that's what I'm using for this set. And I've left this clip at regular speed so that I can show you exactly how I apply gel to the nails. So when I take the brush out the bottle, I make sure to get rid of all of the excess gel on one side. I will add a blob of gel to the press-on nail, and then again I will get rid of the excess on the bottle to make sure that I've not got too much gel on my brush. When I add gel to a nail, I make sure I'm not doing it too close to the cuticle or the edge where the cuticle is, because I don't want to spill gel over the edge and have it end up underneath the press-on nail. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm doing, but hopefully you can see throughout this video the way that I apply gel. I like to bounce the gel up towards the cuticle and then bring the brush down the nail. And I've found that that's the best way to apply the gel, to make sure that it doesn't get absolutely everywhere. It doesn't get underneath the nail, and it means that I don't have a lot of gel to clean up. up, and then I can go back in when I don't have any, or I've got hardly any product on my brush, and wipe over the whole nail with the brush, and that's how I would paint the nail. So I will show you again a couple of times how I apply gel. So I'm adding a little bit to the nail, wiping off the excess, and then I'm taking the brush and bouncing that gel up to the cuticle and then bringing it down the nail. I did a gel polish course and this is how I was taught to apply the gel polish, but it actually works really well, not just on people but on press-on nails too. So when I'm not filming nails to show you guys, this is how I would do it. I would leave the little nails on the stands, and this just makes things a little bit quicker for me, and it means that I can wipe the excess off onto one of the other nails rather than putting it on the bottle, and I think that just reduces waste a tiny bit. And doing it this way does mean that I'm less likely to knock one of the nails when I'm picking it up and putting it down, but it's definitely a little bit less precise, which is why I usually would do this for base and top coat, but I take the nails off the stands to do the colour. I definitely recommend getting some nail stands where you can take the nails off individually like this, especially if you want to practice nail art and different things. It just makes it so much easier. So when I'm done my base coat, I cure that for 60 seconds. Make sure to check whatever base coat that you're using to see how long you need to cure it for. And then this set was for myself, so I was choosing a colour, and I went with this new one that I just got from Nail Order, and it's called Empress. So once your base coat is all cured, then it is time to move on to colour, and I paint my gel colour the same way that I paint my base coat. I always like to make sure that I've got the excess gel off the brush before I get started, because it just makes it so much easier when you've not got that mess. And then I am dabbing some gel onto the nail and pushing it up towards the cuticle and then swiping it down again. Especially when you're painting this colour, this is when it makes a big difference for not getting it to spill over the sides of the nails. And then once I've got that initial layer of colour on, that's when I'll go back in and I'll take the brush and I'll wipe the colour over the whole nail. And that is kind of to just, not to thin out the colour, but to make sure that I don't have any of the colour on it too thick. This is just the best way that I've found to paint my press-on nails. If you have a different method for painting your nails, then definitely let me know how you do them in the comments. I am still a bit of a beginner at this myself, so I really like to learn all the different tips and tricks that you guys have for doing them as well. I've left this whole thumbnail clip in like normal speed, exactly how long it took me, because I wanted to show you like I really do take my time when I do this. Hopefully with practice this will take me less time, because I feel like it does take me a while, but I do think I am a little bit fussy when it comes to doing the nails, and I definitely could do it quicker if I wanted to, but at the minute I like to just really take my time with it, and it's working for now. So when I paint gel colour, I tend to do one hand and then I will cure it in the lamp, and then I will come back and do the other hand. And again, I usually cure each coat for 60 seconds, but definitely check your specific gel to find out how long they recommend to cure it for. Here's me giving the nails a little inspection before I'm popping it in the lamp, and then this is the colour with one coat. Most of the gel polishes that I have need 2 coats, so I will always go in with a second coat. I just do it the same way that I did the first coat, the same method that I apply my gel as usual. The only thing that I did differently with the second coat is that I did end up capping the nail a little bit. So I capped the free edge with the polish, which I will show you in a second. So you can see me doing that here, and I don't always do this. In fact, I think I really rarely will cap the free edge. But for some reason with this colour, I think because it's a bit of a jelly colour, you could really see the tip of the nail, and I felt like it needed to be capped. 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't do this, but I think again it's one of those like personal preference things. If you want to do it, then do it. If you don't, then don't. I haven't personally found that it makes any difference to the longevity of the nails, or that it causes or prevents peeling or chipping or anything like that, but let me know what you think about capping the free edge in the comments. So once I've painted all of the nails with a second coat, I am going to pop them in the lamp for another 60 seconds. And then this next step is actually dependent on what colour you use. So because this gel colour that I've used is really pigmented, I need to wipe off the inhibition layer before I move on to top coat. Some super pigmented colours, like really dark colours and really bold colours and even whites, can leave some of their pigment in the inhibition layer of the gel, so it looks like the gel hasn't fully cured, even though it has. But it's really important that you wipe off this extra pigment in the inhibition layer before you move on to the top coat, otherwise that colour is just going to end up in your top coat, and that's not great for when you go later on to do different colours. because over time all of that colour build-up is going to add up and it's going to change the colour of your top coat, and that is not what we want. So I'm just taking some prep-in wipe, or you can use alcohol on a lint-free wipe and wiping over all of those nails to get rid of that. And you can see quite a bit of that pigment was left even after the nails were fully cured, so this is why I gave them a little wipe. And then the last step in making your set of press-on nails is to go in with top coat. This glossy top coat from Nail Reserve is my current favourite, but any no wipe top coat is what I would recommend you use. Again, I just apply this the same way that I apply all of the rest of my gel. I like to make sure that I don't have too much on the brush, and I like to push it up towards the cuticle and then down towards the rest of the nail, just to try and prevent me spilling that gel all over the sides, and it means that I don't have to clean it up. If you do spill gel over the sides of the press-on nails for any of the coats that you're doing, the best thing to do is take a little cuticle stick or like a little wipe and wipe all of that gel off the nail before you put them in the lamp to cure, because it just makes cleaning it up so much easier. You don't need a super thick layer of top coat. I actually used to make the mistake of using too much top coat, and then you would be able to see where it had ran and it had sort of like misshapen the nail. So I definitely think that less is more when it comes to top coat. So I'm just going to top coat all of those nails, and I'm capping the free edge a little bit just because I capped the free edge with the colour, so I want to cap the free edge with the top coat too. And then once I've painted all of those nails, I do like to have a little inspection and make sure that I'm happy with them all before I put them in the lamp. I'm going to put them into cure for 60 seconds, but again, check your top coat and do whatever your top coat says to do. And then when your nails come out of the lamp, that is them finished. Once you get the hang of it, making press-on nails is pretty straightforward. Obviously, I just showed you a simple set that didn't have any nail art, but hopefully now you have an idea of how to make press-on nails and where to get started. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, because it really helps my channel. And other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!